My name is Eric Foster. I'm a consumer rights attorney in Connecticut. The name of my law firm, currently not very creative, is Eric Lynn Foster Law. I practice in southern Connecticut on the shoreline in a town called Old Saybrook. It's a big sailing and beach community in New England. And then I've been practicing for over 30 years. Started my practice in my career in Manhattan and private practice at large firms. And then after working as a regulatory attorney for the Federal Reserve, I ultimately decided I wanted to become a consumer rights attorney. My father was a lobbyist in Washington, and as I grew up, I saw him put on his coat and tie and go into court, and go into Washington and go into court and travel to see clients. And he'd take me up to Capitol Hill, where he was a lobbyist, and take me to lunch and take me back to his law firm. And so that was a big part of it. And then I really wanted something that was intellectually challenging and something that was intellectually rewarding and something that caught my interest and passion. And that, in the end, that really was about the financial markets and how consumers interact with the banking system and the laws that sort of govern protecting consumers when they borrow. So we'll get into that. But that's my passion. That's what I learned after regulating banks, helping the compliance and regulatory department within the Federal Reserve Bank of New York as their lawyer ensure that banks complied with various consumer protection statutes. Well, sure. I mean, a lot of things. We are a broad spectrum law firm that we do everything from consumer bankruptcy to defending consumers, homeowners when the banks are trying to foreclose on their homes. So we're in court a lot, litigating over their rights, making sure that this bank really has the right to foreclose against them. They're the true owner of the mortgage and the note. I also enjoy the negotiation. I feel like I have a really good working relationship with a lot of the creditors' attorneys. So when I get in situations, which is often where I have to negotiate and try to resolve a creditor claim, a defaulted car loan or mortgage or credit card or student loan, they know that I'll fight to the end if I have to, but they also know that I know what's reasonable and what's not reasonable in terms of settling a case. And so that's part of my reputation. I'm easy to get along with, empathetic to the clients, but that's how I like helping my clients is I do a lot of negotiating for them. I do a lot of negotiating of settling their debts and resolving various claims in the court system. I think I'm a good listener, and I think I'm quite empathetic. My clients have financial problems. Their expenses have exceeded their income. They've lost a job. They suffered an economic downturn. They've lost a job. They have a short-term or long-term disability. And they come to see a lawyer, but they also seeking somebody who understands their story and can protect them from harassment and also help them process that not being able to pay your debts is not a crime. It's just what happens to some people, and that's okay. And my job is to make sure that the system doesn't beat them up, because it can. They can garnish their wages, they can levy their bank account, they can put a lien on a home. And having a lawyer that knows your rights and helps educate a client about their rights, very valuable to them. And just look at my reviews. I mean, I've got nothing but positive reviews from my clients because I think I help them. And I think it's just being a real person, being empathetic and being available to them when something happens is all that's important. I want them to know that I'm experienced. I want them to know that I'm passionate about what I do. There's not a lot of lawyers in Connecticut that do what I do. There's two others. And that specialization comes in ability to really know how to protect them. But the other thing I would say is I also understand that if my clients have financial problems, price sensitive, and they're looking for a lawyer that the costs will be reasonable, predictable, so that they can budget and they can understand what the return on their investment is. So I try to be as transparent as possible. I'll tell you one more thing about me. I really try to make sure that I'm the solution for my clients. And a lot of times I get along great with a potential client and we do an initial consultation, but I know how bright they are. I know what the situation is. Maybe they're here too early to see me, or maybe I think they can handle it themselves. And I really try to give my clients just right off the bat as much information as I can to see maybe they don't need to hire a lawyer, and maybe they don't need to hire me, or maybe they need to hire me later on. So that's the way I approach my practice.